Oh, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Craggy Pariahs Podcast. I am your host, Austin, along with my co-host here, my sister,
Alyssa,
and my buddy from high school,
Josh.
How you guys doing?
Doing just fine. Another day in
okay.
paradise.
All right. Now, so a little bit about ourselves. Obviously, me and Alyssa here are brother and sister. Known each other our whole lives.
Sadly.
Yes, sadly.
Begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly. Me and Josh have known each other since high school. What was it, like freshman?
Freshman year, your junior year. So for about 7 years now, we've known each other.
Yeah, quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
and despite us going to the same high school, I have no idea that you went there.
No, I remember seeing you around a little bit. We just, because I was friends with him, we didn't become friends. Because he was a douchebag.
Yeah. Indeed.
Jeez. Just thanks for dropping that out there. Just calling me a D-bag.
Sorry about that. I
Truth
forgot.
hurts.
Speaking around my little cousins.
Yeah, try to keep it family friendly here, Josh.
I struggle with that.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite difficult for you throughout this whole process.
The dark side calls for me.
Do it. Do it.
Oh, God.
Just picture Palpatine just over my shoulder, like the angel and devil. Just Palpatine just going, "Do it, do it."
Hey. So, for basically what we're going to be doing here, this is our trial run for the podcast that we're going to have. This will generally be for the YouTube channel that we're putting up. We're going to also include some other stuff as well. We'll do some, funny, comedy, short video sketches, things like of that nature.
Well, the sketches could be mainly for the YouTube. We're also going to be putting this on Spotify once we hit the right
the podcast
episode count. And we're going to also be putting it on the podcast app for Apple at some point.
Yes. The podcast will go on many different mediums, but YouTube will include the podcast, but YouTube will also have a smattering of other content that we will be putting out. So it should be a lot of fun. It will be a fun experience to see where everything goes.
Pretty much just a bunch of friends talking. See where it goes.
Yeah, right now it's just a bunch of friends talking, just chatting about nonsense. It's gonna be great. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so fun.
A little bit of irony in there.
Mostly because I'm here, so.
We were friends only because of our mother.
It's only fun because you're here.
Yeah. That too.
Are you wearing the Star Wars blanket, or is that the?
That's Attack on Titan.
Oh.
Come on, if you're gonna be a weeb, at least get it right.
Yeah.
I'm not that much of a weeb. I'm a little bit of a weeb.
See,
I'm a little bit.
I'm the department for Marvel, comics, sci-fi, anime, some animes, I should say, and then Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, that fandom never reached
Not
me.
to mention Supernatural.
Okay, no, I got Supernatural.
That qualifies under sci-fi. Anything
Supernatural
sci-fi.
was a pretty good TV show. I
mean, she's got the poster up here of Castiel.
I already looked at it and I was like,
Yep.
approval.
Just Castiel, like in his voice.
Dimitri
I'm the one who
approves.
gripped you tight and raised you from perdition.
With his scowl on his
I'm
face.
definitely more of a Star Wars guy,
Oh.
like always have been.
Definitely all the way at Star Wars. I know a lot of random stuff about Star Wars. But since now that all that is in Legends, it doesn't really matter how much I know.
Oh, God.
Before the salt completely settles, let's keep going.
Honestly, the way I see it now with all these new movies coming out, I don't know jack shite about Star Wars.
And you said it was going to be hard for me.
Oh yeah, that was a little difficult there, but yeah, no. These newer Star Wars movies just have a lot of mixed feelings about them. A lot of them being negative.
Oh, I totally agree with you on that one, Austin. Like, it's totally negative in my view. They said that they're going to try pretty much, not parody, but echo in some words, because I just can't think of the right word, of the original trilogy. Mm-hmm. And this is supposed to be the end of the Skyward Saga and all that. But yes, they are pretty much echoing, because I can't think of the freaking word, 4 or 5. And now that we know Palpatine is there and how they're going to do that, I don't understand.
Wait, is that confirmed? That
Yeah, because in the trailer, his laugh was in it. I think
his
he's
laugh
gonna
was
be
in the 7th movie as
His
well.
his laugh is in it, but I don't
but-
think it's confirmed that if
I think
he's
okay.
actually going to
Let's
be.
say, okay, fine. It's not confirmed, but I believe he's going to, and I think that's going to help it. But it also depends on how they do it, because it also could hurt. If they give some horrible reason and why he survived, they should take from Legends, because Legends has it where he had clones of himself, and his consciousness transferred to them. And so, if they could do that, that'd be pretty nice.
They basically
Is that kind
just
of
Django
explain?
fed.
Yeah, is that kind
Yeah.
of explaining how he was able to like keep himself alive, like throughout the years? Because when he was in episode 3 talking about Darth Sidious or Lord Sidious,
Darth
whatever.
Plagueis.
Sorry, yeah. He was saying how he could just keep himself alive for years.
I thought that had something to do with just the dark side of the Force. It was just a certain Force technique
No,
that...
it was a Force technique, but it took a lot of... It wasn't known. Plagueis pioneered it. Well, I wouldn't say he pioneered it alone. There was a bunch of Siths beforehand that dabbled in it. But he made the biggest stride, in my opinion. But Sidious, as going on in throughout the whole saga, was never at age where he should have passed away. This is going to Legends where after the Death Star blew up and, Anakin, Darth Vader, died, he continued going on.
Okay.
Mhm.
So...
Yeah. What about that whole theory about, people saying that Rey is, like, possibly a Palpatine?
There are 3 possibilities, and one of them is a Palpatine because
an Obi-Wan.
and an Obi-Wan or
Oh,
Skywalker.
sorry, a Kenobi.
Yeah.
Or a Skywalker. If they say she's a Skywalker, I'm going to be a little annoyed.
There's also the possibility that she could be a Solo. Because in the books that George Lucas wrote, he wrote books about how Han and Leia have twins, Jaden and Jay something. Jace, yeah. And
I think it's Jace.
One of them, the son, goes to the dark side, and the twin sister has to pull him back to the light.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a possibility that Kylo Ren and Rey are twin siblings.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense because of the whole thing like they did in Last Jedi. They keep seeing each other through the Force, and he literally asks himself, why is the Force connecting us like this?
In my opinion, it doesn't make sense.
No, it does make sense.
Because of how Han Solo first met Rey. You would see, if due to good acting, you would
think
see
about
his
it,
eyes.
though,
That is my daughter.
If you think about it, though, they did leave her as a child, and she's grown up now. He wouldn't be able to recognize her at all.
Oh, no, you can
and
also
Han
argue...
is not really connected with the Force as much as Leia is. Leia kind of had a little bit of a weird
She had the
connection with
motherly
Rey.
sense
She had a
to,
motherly
like,
sense
I'm
towards
somehow
her.
related to this child.
But she just didn't reveal it to her. So Leia could have known all along, but she's not going to reveal it because it's too important to keep it a secret.
To be honest, they could have done the same exact thing with Luke and Leia, where it's like we had twins, but we had to save one.
As you're saying that, we're trying to be...
That's basically what I'm saying. Is
I agree with you.
Han and Leia did the same thing that what had to be done with Luke and Leia
to protect them of we can't let the dark side know.
Okay, I agree with you. I'll step back on that.
Yeah.
But yes, it does work out. It does make sense, and it would make sense with the original trilogy. But in my opinion, I still think it would be a cop-out.
Yeah.
You're not. I don't want them completely ripping off the original trilogy.
The highest bid for me is not that they've been playing that it could be a Solo because of the books. It could be a Skywalker is what they were throwing at you heavily because of Luke's saber being given to her. But my strongest theory is that she is a Kenobi. I like the idea that she could be a Palpatine.
Well, actually, if you go
there something else that involved with wasn't it not necessarily Luke's lightsaber, but it was actually Kenobi's lightsaber?
Well, the thing is that
originally what she kind of sensed.
There was some sort of script or screenplay that was released after Episode 7 came out, showing more to the story of the Force visions that she saw. Because during the Force visions, it's described in the screenplay that they had where she saw a boy who was with a dark, shadowy figure. And she saw this boy throughout different times of his life. And the theory is that the mission with the Knights of Ren going onto that rainy, dark, muddy planet, the reason was because they found an artifact. And so Kylo Ren's I need to go get that artifact, thinking he's going to find Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, this lightsaber he's been looking for his whole life because it belongs to him. Instead, he picks up Obi-Wan Kenobi's old lightsaber and starts having Force visions of Rey and this little girl growing up throughout different times of her life. And when they saw each other, when he saw her and headed right towards her on that planet, it's because they were connected to the Force in that vision, that moment. So the Force vision was triggered for the Kenobi by touching the lightsaber of the Skywalker, and the Skywalker Force vision enacted when he touched the Kenobi lightsaber.
So that's why, because he kind of felt the Force from touching
It's
Obi-Wan's lightsaber, and she's been holding Luke's lightsaber, so she's connected through the Skywalkers, and he's connected through the Kenobi.
Yeah.
But sadly, I do not believe that is canon, is it?
It's not really canon.
It's not
So-
necessarily
but it
canon,
is-
but it is
So,
a theory of where they could
Yeah.
take the story.
So what I think Disney's doing is trying to play a little race with us.
Yeah.
See whose side you're on. I would be very truly happy if it wasn't either of the three. I'd be perfectly okay with that.
Yeah.
I think it's a cop out if it's a Skywalker. If it was a Kenobi, it wouldn't make sense because Obi-Wan did not marry the person that the lady that he did love died.
The canon, because now that what is
freaking
it,
Legends
Clone
is so
Wars,
stupid.
Clone Wars and Rebels are canon now. There is a possible love interest that he had in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, no, she died.
She died, but she also had a daughter. She had a daughter who married a rebel, and those two had a child.
Going back based from what I know, at least from knowing Kenobi, not knowing, but because Obi-Wan Kenobi's my favorite Jedi of all time.
As should be for
yeah.
almost everybody who's
because
a
Luke,
fan
if
of
you
the-
go, if you go to look at Luke and read again in lore now, he did a lot of good stuff. Like Luke is the best Jedi ever.
Yeah.
He's the strongest Jedi ever. But my main reason why I like Obi-Wan Kenobi is because of his mastery of Form 3.
Mm-hmm.
Form 3 is all the defense.
Yeah.
And that's actually why he was able to stand against General Grievous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if it was a Kenobi, I could see that working a little bit. I think it'd be a stretch in my personal headcanon of Kenobi. Because canon nowadays is not very much on the Kenobi
It's
side.
very, well, I mean, it is still very much in Kenobi's favor. Also, the reason why they drew connections with her being a Palpatine or a Kenobi in the movie is because the one lightsaber move that Palpatine had when you first see him actually strike is that he did the stab. He was the first person to actually, like, stab with a lightsaber instead of slashing. And the only other person that you see do that is Rey. So that's the connection of, like, oh, she could possibly be a Palpatine. That's why she has such a strong
stretch.
connection to the dark side. There's also other theories that go along with it. But Kenobi is still reinforced because who's the only other person to do the Jedi mind trick? To just speak.
That's a very well known trick in all the Jedi.
See, I didn't see that, or I didn't know that, because I would see Qui-Gon Jinn doing it. Who taught Obi-Wan was Qui-Gon
It is a very
Jinn.
basic form of Force
It's
manipulation.
a common technique that the
Yes.
Jedi use all the time.
You just never see it done in the movies.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it's done a lot.
Necessarily in the
Well, not
movies.
by a
The
lot,
only
I don't
people
mean
who have
forever.
done it in the movies.
The only
was
three were Qui-Gon Jinn,
Qui-Gon.
who taught Obi-Wan, and then Obi-Wan with Rey somehow being connected.
And then Luke tried to use it on
Jabba.
but it didn't work because Jabba's a very strong-headed person.
Well,
Yeah.
also
Or alien, I guess.
if you
He's
didn't-
blob,
He's
whatever
not,
the hell
he's
he
not
is.
weak-minded.
He's not weak-minded.
Well,
So
if you didn't
Luke,
know this, Count Dooku was Qui-Gon Jinn's master.
Yeah.
So again, and then Yoda was Count Dooku's
Dooku's master.
So again, if Yoda taught him that, you teach everybody that.
But as far
It's
as
a
you
very-
know,
I think it's a very
the
basic
way it's been shown in the cinematic universe for Star Wars is the only people you actually see ever use the Jedi mind trick is Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Luke.
Rey.
Tried to use it, or actually did use it. Actually, he kind of used it on the guards when he got them to back off. He didn't tell them anything, but he just kind of input it in their minds, told them to back off, like mentally.
I thought he was choking them in that
No,
scene.
he was not. He was just waving, just with his mind, just signaling them like, no, back off, don't mess with me, and got them to back down. Tried to use it on Jabba, didn't work. Jabba's a strong-willed being. He wasn't going to fall for that trick. And then the only other person to use it after then is Rey. But the thing about that is, like, Rey managed to figure out how to do it and did it, like, kind of quickly without having any training at all.
This brings up my next point. So, being able to manipulate the Force does come with... you can be natural at it. And how you be a natural at it is how many midichlorians you have. And so, Obi-Wan does not have that many midichlorians. So, he had to train a lot to get to where he was. Anakin, you saw how he quite excelled at it. And he didn't say he didn't have to train as much, but it came to him more naturally. Again, same with Luke. Luke has a high midichlorian count. So it comes to him more naturally.
They're prodigies.
They're prodigies, pretty much.
Luke and Anakin, I believe, they're kind of, equal as far as their midichlorians counts. Because Anakin
I think Luke had more because Padme...
Well, we don't know, because it was never tested how many midichlorians Luke had. Because
Anakin had the high... I think he had the highest Again, you can't take me for fact and verbatim on this stuff.
I would say that Anakin...
I looked it up.
Anakin, technically, Anakin Darth Vader... probably was the strongest one, the strongest Jedi at the time, but because
he was not the strongest Jedi at the time. Yoda was.
Well, obviously, but I mean, the strongest Jedi Knight.
There's also
Yoda's a master.
Human.
So
I'd say human.
There's also the theory that
actually even then, no, he's not, because yes, Anakin had yes, he was good at everything, but his life experience is part of the reason why.
I'm going based on his raw ability with the Force. The midichlorians.
Oh, we're looking at raw ability. Then yes,
the raw ability.
Yes, I agree with you.
Anakin was the strongest.
If we took their ability, all their knowledge away, and said you could learn more faster.
Think about it this way:
then,
when he first initially became Darth Vader, when he became shush. I didn't say Darth Revan. When he initially became Darth Vader, when the Emperor finally dubbed him as Darth Vader and took him as his apprentice, like officially, first thing Anakin did was he walked into the Jedi Temple with a bunch of clones. He took on all those Jedi, like, single-handedly, along with, a little bit of a backup. It's like a small...
No, you can't say all those Jedi.
Not all of them.
There's not that many Jedi in the temple.
Yeah.
Either way, though, there's... either way.
But he did take down a lot of the... what's their names?
The younglings?
No, not the younglings. The people that are stay there and guard. I know their name. I just can't think of it. Either way, he stormed in there at the front of the whole little small garrison that he had of the
clones.
101st.
Yeah, the 50... Actually,
no,
the
501st. 501st.
The 501st garrison.
I'm an idiot.
It wasn't even all of them. It was just a handful of them. It was like...
It was the first it was all of the 501st with them.
Was it really? All right, well, either way, he walked in with all of them, but it still wasn't that many of them, as far as how many clones went in there with him, but he went in there with so many Jedi, like,
no, there
also
was a lot
in
of
there.
clones. The whole temple was surrounded and filled with them.
But again,
anyways,
the clones, going against
Jedi's,
the clones are really at a disadvantage. The Jedi's know how to use their lightsabers blocking shots.
Yes.
A few clones managed to take out a few of them.
Okay, well,
they were there to help.
Again, yes, a Jedi's really good, but overwhelming them with blaster fire can kill a Jedi.
Yes, it can.
Yeah.
But
you see it in multiple
Anakin
cutscenes.
walking up there in the front, everybody else is probably going for Anakin because he's going in there and just storming the place. So it's probably Anakin really single-handedly took down, like, at least,
I don't know too much about it, so I can't agree nor disagree. I don't think it is.
Either way, just the fact that he would walk in there and just him and a group of clones,
a legion,
taking out the entire Jedi Temple. That's some pretty.
But then again, you also got to remember that the Jedi were spread out very thin at this time because there are a lot of battles going on at the time too.
Yeah.
They weren't spread out that thin, though.
No,
a lot of them stayed at...
They were.
Not... A lot of the Masters were off other places.
So were the others.
Most of the other Jedi were at the temple.
Ooh, Austin.
No. The Jedi at the temple were the ones in training and could not go into battle.
Sentinels. That was the name.
The ones that stayed at the temple were the younglings or those who could not go into battle because all their masters went to battle on the other planets.
No, there were some masters there. because they weren't on missions. But majority of the forces of the Jedi were off planet.
Windu was still
Windu was still there. But that's
he just wasn't in the temple at the time because he was off
Palpatine.
trying to arrest Palpatine, and then
Yeah.
Anakin killed him.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Sidious killed him, but Anakin helped.
Yeah.
Cut his hands off.
He threw
Damn.
force in my face. How much of it did he get in my face? I don't know. There was probably not one shed of lightning force that did not just revert back into your
Oh,
face.
you quoted the robot chicken.
Yes.
God. That was hilarious. That was just awful.
But Star Wars is a thing that I could talk on forever.
There's also the theories of like, how did the Empire grow to be when we had such a massive force of Jedi who fought for the light side? And the theory was that with balance of the Force, those who are trained in the light shall be equally as powerful as the dark. So there's the theory of like, as far as your Jedi, the more you have Jedi, the more powerful Darth Sidious becomes, because the more you feed the light, the more the dark has to balance out.
So how that works is this. So this is how it works. From 1 to 3, and even beforehand, Darth Sidious and Darth Plagueis at the time, before Darth Plagueis passed away, it's called the Rule 2.
Yeah.
And the Rule 2, how that all started out was because I believe it was Darth Bane that started it. The more Sith there were, the less powerful they were.
Yeah.
So when it came down to 2, you had 2 really powerful Sith, a master and an apprentice. And the idea was, the apprentice will get stronger than the master and kill the master. And so no matter what, they're always just going to keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Mm-hmm. So, yes, that does work. But the main fall of Jedi's not being there is also because of Order 66. And now, because Order 66 being down, you could even go as far as to theorize that
dark side's not as strong.
No, it is still as strong, but now all the Jedi being executed and going to hiding, since there is way less Jedi out there, you have stronger Jedis. It kind of correlates with Luke and how strong he was.
Yeah.
Because he fought Aboleth.
Yeah, like with such a low supply of Jedi that can be like as powerful as the dark side, spawns Luke, who is like the most powerful Jedi ever, to kind of like
in my opinion,
balance out the power of Force.
The tea just went down the wrong pipe. Oh God.
Okay.
Oh man, that did not feel good at all.
Yeah, that never feels good.
Have you ever like had that sensation like when you drink soda and you feel like a weird burp come up and then like the soda, like the carbonation like just comes out of your nose?
Oh yeah, that burning.
Yeah, is like,
it's not very pleasant.
That's the worst.
What's even worse with that is when you do it with beer.
Oh gosh,
because you also got the flavor.
I don't think I've ever actually had it happen with beer.
Oh, have you ever shotgunned 3 beers in a row?
No, because I drink them like a normal person.
I've made those mistakes.
Drinking beer like a normal person is a good way to avoid that.
Yeah, but you drink beer like a normal person, it's not as fun. The faster you drink it, the more messed up you get, right?
I suppose, but we're Irish, so that doesn't really happen to us. At least for me, like whenever I drink...
Just because you're Irish doesn't mean that your alcohol tolerance is high.
No, it's not that it's high, it's more of like I get an instant buzz and then it just wears out like that, so I have to like keep drinking.
I don't think that actually has anything to do with Irish blood.
Maybe not, but I like to blame it on the Irish.
Maybe
I wish I was Irish, because maybe it would have helped me the other night.
A lot of cases, what it has to do with is metabolism. If the higher metabolism you have, the quicker alcohol will burn off out of your system, and so
I thought it was the quicker it would go into your system. I don't know. I think you might be right.
No, it's the quicker it'll burn off. That's the whole thing with Captain America. His metabolism slightly increases, so he would have to drink like so much all at one time just to feel anything. How many shots did he have
in Age of Ultron where he's just like, I've had like 15 shots and I'm still not feeling it, or something like that?
It was the first Captain America. And
no, it was Age of Ultron when they're in the bar and they're drinking and they're about to lift the hammer or try to.
Oh yeah. Well, they brought it back into that one, but the Captain America movie, the first one, he was upset about whatever. I think it was like when Bucky died,
Yeah.
he was sitting at the bar, and he was just like, he mentioned, like, the doctor said my metabolism's higher, so, like, drinking alcohol, I can't get drunk.
Yeah.
So, speaking about getting drunk and having higher metabolism, I wish I had a higher metabolism, because I drank a lot of Crown Royal the other day.
Oh, boy, here we go.
So, my 2 roommates, one of them has a girlfriend, and my other roommate had a girl come over, and they wanted to do a drinking game, so they invited me to play.
Mm-hmm.
We were gonna play Uno, but the drinking game of Uno. But what made it even worse was that it was Flip Uno, I think it was called. So it had 2 sides. It had a dark side and a light side.
Oh.
Huh.
And like the dark side had where you skip everybody and it's your turn again and stuff like that. And skips, you had to take a shot. You got anything plus 40, you had to take a shot. It was just shots galore.
That's like the Rick and Morty sort of game where you can drink, where it's like every time Rick burps, every time Morty says "oh geez" or "oh man,
Oh,
Rick,"
jeez, Rick!
or
Yeah.
just anything like that.
Whoa!
You get wickedly drunk from any episode that you watch, because it's just
Hey, Morty.
constant
Morty,
drinking.
I need you to take these mega seeds. Some way up in your butthole, Morty. Like, way up in your butt.
But so we start playing, and it's like, I think it was like 9 o'clock at this time, because we were talking about actually doing the podcast at that time, and plans fell through. So I start drinking heavily. So first, right off the freaking bat, it's my turn. So I put down like a 2, and then Aiden hits with a skip all, and then a reverse. So reverse to me, which a reverse also we were taking shots for too.
Oh God.
So I had 2 shots right off the bat, and then as we kept going, and then by the first 10 minutes, I had took 3 shots of Crown Royal. Oh. And by saying shots, I'm not saying your normal shot you get from a bar. I'm saying our shots. Now the shotguns we had were really tall and fat, like kind of like wine glasses.
They're almost like tumblers.
Kinda.
Okay.
But there's like 2 shots in one. I was filling those up and taking those.
Oh God.
I was an idiot.
Yeah.
So, like over that game, in that game I took 5 shots, 5 or 6 shots. Then we play another game, and the last game was won by Melanie, Aiden's girlfriend. And so we play the next game. We're going, and Aiden gets 4 skip balls in a row.
Jesus.
He skips us 4 times. I look him in the eyes and just all obscenities I could say at the moment, because
God.
I was mad. I had to just take 5 shots, and then he plus 2'd me.
Oh God.
Oh, wow.
So I had to take 5 shots.
Oh.
And so like this bottle of Crown Royal was drank mainly by me.
Oh, wow.
So at this time, I'm really drunk. I'm singing. Because we have Pandora on the background. I'm singing horribly. Horribly. So I'm just that pretty much. And so Melanie finally wins that game, and like I'm just like, I don't want to drink anymore, but let's play another game.
Oh God.
So we play another game. We start off, and by the end of this game, I think I did another 7 shots, and I actually won that game. I don't know how. I couldn't focus on anything. It was horrible. So we finished the game, and I look at the bottle of Crown Royal. There's still about 3 shots left in that.
And
I just drank it straight from the bottle. I drank it straight from the bottle. And
straight from the bottle is always the worst.
And the girl
except beer.
Oh yeah, except beer. And we had no chasers, so I've been chasing it with water this whole time too. I've been chasing it with water, which is already not good. So I drink all of that, and then I chase it with some water, and then the girl that Tyler had come over, she had a bottle of, I think it was rum, but it was clear rum, but it tasted like cinnamon and had gold flakes in it. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, I do know what that is. Well, not the one with the gold flakes, but you're thinking of like sort of like.
I'm not even sure if it's a rum. I have no idea what it was. I just know I took a drink of it.
I do know it. It's really nice rum. I like it.
So
Damn.
I take like 2 mouthfuls of that, and then I proceed to fall out of my chair. Literally, I take a sip of water, swivel around to put on a song. As I'm typing the song, I type it in, and it was Johnny Manchado and the Poor Bastards. I Know You Better Than That.
Mm-hmm.
And so as it starts going, and as the musical, because it's a kind of a musical lead into, I spin around doing reenacting it, and I fall right out of the chair into her. And I'm like, oh, sorry. So we get back up, but most everybody goes to sleep at this point. I can't see my hands clearly. I'm just telling you the truth on that point. So I decided to sit down because Aiden just recently got a ticket, so he wanted my help to do the DMV redo class, something like that. And
so, hey, what do I do when I pull up to a yellow light?
No, so he's asking. Oh, so I sit down, and I start to load up Modern Warfare Remastered. All right, so he turns it around and asks me a question on him, and I just straight up tell him, like, I can't read that. He's like, really? I'm like, no, I can't read it. I can't read it at all. And let's take it into perspective. Say I'm looking at the candle right there, right? Mm-hmm. I would see it clear, like it'd be too focused in on this eye and too far out on this eye. This eye would focus over here, this eye would focus over there, like to the right. It was like my eyes were not, it was like I was cross-eyed, focusing horribly and blurry, and everything was shaking. But then I still decided to play a Modern Warfare Remastered.
It's like, yeah, this won't affect me at all. Oh, what am I aiming at? You're aiming at me, dude. Well, I'm on the same team.
No, we weren't playing online, thank God. So I load in, and we were halfway through this mission because me and Aiden were doing a veteran playthrough together.
Imagine trying to play paintball while your eyes are like that.
Oh, I have played paintball drunk. That's fun. That's fun.
Doesn't sound fun.
You don't feel it.
I guess. It's like, yeah, this shot will numb the pain.
Well, one time I was so drunk I just ran down 3 guys and I didn't feel any of it, and they shot me back. So,
it's like all the time, me, Zach, and Justin, are right in the woods right next to his house. We just always go back there. Justin had a bunch of airsoft guns. We just go back there and just have a big old airsoft war between just the 3 of us. We dug out trenches and everything, little foxholes.
Yeah, that's always fun.
We did something like that in my childhood. It was like our own personal Vietnam.
My brother, sister, and stepbrothers at the time did that too when I was younger. That's actually how I got introduced to paintball, and why I actually started off hating it, because they were mean and I was really young. I was 5 years younger than my next oldest brother, and so that put an even bigger gap because he was the only one older than me. So
I mean, I still haven't been paintballing, but I'm traumatized from we had a next door neighbor growing up, and our brother Derek, he's 6 years difference from you.
5.
5 years.
5, 6 for you.
6 for me. And our neighbor was the same age as him, and super redneck too. And I just remember being traumatized when they threw a firecracker at me and it cracked on my thigh or whatever. It's just
no, those don't hurt.
Oh, really? Because I was traumatized when he got off the bus one day and just took a massive dump right at the end of the driveway.
How are you traumatized by that, though?
Because it was just it was so weird. I'm just sitting there we're playing in the yard, and all I see, the bus pulls up, Derek gets off, he's already walking towards the house, but then Ray gets off, just drops his pants halfway and just drops a deuce right there outside of the bus, right at the end of the driveway.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's how redneck they were.
Okay, but let me finish this because Aiden had to do a lot of stuff for me.
Okay.
So we're playing, and I just remember clearly remembering aiming for a window that I thought there was a guy. Mm-hmm. But I'm not so sure right now if there was a guy in it, because I entered 4 clips into that, 4 mags into that, and nothing stopped coming back at me.
Clip or mag would have worked because they're both the same thing.
No, there's a difference. Whatever. Anyway, so at some point, now this is where I black out. I don't remember anything after this. Apparently, I started talking about my motorcycle. And I was complaining about why I haven't fixed it yet. And then I look over at Aiden and proceed to say in a not so kindly way, sucks you have to do that course. I said, I can't help you. And then I proceeded to tell him, hey, I'm ready to go to bed. As I tell him, hey, I'm ready to go to bed, I ask him, he has to lift me up off the couch, first of all. Now, to put a little backstory, I'm 2 inches taller than Aiden, which isn't much, but I also weigh 170, something like that, and not helping at all while being drunk, he had to lift me off the couch, which is a very low couch. You see my couch,
yeah,
and then carry me, which my room's all the way on the other end of the house, mm-hmm. and then get me into my room. So
that's quite a walk.
Yeah, it's quite a walk.
Carry him.
So like he's carrying most of my weight. He finally gets me in there. Apparently, I slam onto the bed. I don't even know how my pants got off. He didn't tell me. I still question that.
I think you know.
I like to hope.
Oh,
wink. But so, and then at like, I start yelling to him about the course he's taking from my bed. From my bed, I'm yelling to him about it. I still have not passed out. Pretty much just, Aiden, do you need help still? Just stuff like that. And I finally stopped yelling, and I go, Aiden? He goes, what? I need the trash can. Apparently, he freaking ran into the kitchen, threw the lid off of the trash can, and ran into my room.
Oh my gosh!
I'm not going to continue because it's not pleasant.
It becomes kind of
the
like,
question though is, did he get to you in time?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because that's where my memory comes back in.
Just in the nick of time.
No, I think he left the room because there was no one in the room when I did. So, my memory kicks back in for that.
I've almost had a close call with a bowel movement really bad one time. Yeah, you know this because you were there for it, Alyssa.
You mean the Golden Corral
Yeah,
story?
the Golden Corral incident.
Well, wait. First of all, you went to Golden Corral. What were you expecting, dude?
I was expecting not to get food poisoning.
Well, you expected wrong. Wait,
I know.
Did you go to the Golden Corral here?
No, this was on like a
this
family
was in
vacation.
this was like
Virginia?
a Golden Corral in North Carolina.
Okay.
And one of the funnier things that had already happened as soon as we sat down, like our waiter, like we're in North Carolina, you know, it's like quite a few like country people like there and everything. The waiter that we had at this Golden Corral, he was kind of, you know, a little more Asian looking kind of guy. He must have like been Filipino or something. And our brother,
I don't know.
like he made like a really bad like comment. He was just like he like our waiter walked away from the table and our brother just like looks at me because he heard something like crunching in his little pouch
you're
pocket.
Right.
And he just goes like, "Hey, he's got fortune cookies." And I was like, "Dude, this isn't a Chinese restaurant. What the?"
I just pictured him going.
I forgot about that.
I just picture this. I picture his hand slim up there going, "He's got fortune cookies."
Oh my gosh!
My brother was the subtle racist, where he just made funny jokes to us.
Let's not try to make anything sound racist on here at all. That's really bad.
He stereotyped him hard, though.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, to be fair, everybody does that. Everybody does that for a joke. If you look, everything's in my opinion. There's always a joke in something. There's always a joke in something.
I mean, it was kind of funny, but I was also looking at him like, dude,
did you really just say that?
Yeah. So that was already the start of what was going on at Golden Corral.
It was probably crap.
It was afterwards that was the horror show that was beginning. We were on our way back to the hotel room that we were staying in, and literally only 2 minutes of being in the car on our way back to the hotel room, I could feel it. Excuse me. Holy cow. All right.
Bless you, my good sir.
Oh, thank you.
I wanted you to get that all out of your system first.
So it was like already 2 minutes into the car ride. I'm already feeling it. And after like another 5 minutes, we're still like 10 minutes away from the hotel room. I'm sitting there like begging. I was like, we gotta like stop somewhere or something. Like I have to go bad. I'm like cramping in my stomach because it's so awful. Like I'm in pain. I can feel like the dam is about to break.
Derek and I are in the car.
They're cracking up,
laughing.
Like actually, all of you were laughing.
Oh yeah, all of us in the car were laughing. But then the thing is, like when we got to the hotel room, like Mom and Dad dropped us off in our hotel room. I don't know where they went off to, but you were in the bathroom, and me and Derek were just outside.
we all had the one hotel room.
Yeah, but Mom and Dad weren't in the hotel room with us while you were in the bathroom.
Because they stood outside while I blew it up.
Me and Derek stayed.
Literally, as
like
soon as they got
people.
the room key in, they had me sit there, open up the door, and they were like, we're going to wait out here. So I run in, go beeline right for the bathroom. I slam that door, I lock it.
See, that's just
and
called
I was
having
on
a
that
galaxy
toilet
brain.
for like 15 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's just
See,
having a
I
galaxy
don't-
brain, though.
I
Like,
don't
seriously.
remember the smell. I just remember Derek and I sitting on the beds laughing our asses off because he's screaming in the bathroom, "I'm never going to Golden Corral again!"
That is true. I did say this.
Yeah.
I haven't
I
been to
did
a
say
golden,
this.
I haven't been to a Golden Corral in a long time. I actually wouldn't mind going back in. I could always go for a buffet.
I've been back there since then, but every
Then you
time...
lied!
Yeah, I lied. I've been back to a Golden Corral
What, he
since
was
then,
I'm
but
not calling you a truther.
but I still wouldn't choose Golden Corral over like a good Chinese buffet or anything like that.
Yeah, like the
I love
hibachi not
Chinese
too far from
buffets.
here. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Sushi
Hibachi
King's really
over
good.
here is
Never
really
been to
good.
Sushi King. That's a buffet?
It is amazing.
It's not really a buffet, but
you
it's an
sit
all you
at
can
a
eat.
table, but you order anything you can eat, and
It's-
you can order as much as you want.
It's $18.99 a person, but it's all you can eat. So
Well,
you
okay,
literally
but I
they'll
was
give
gonna
you
say,
a meal
any
ticket.
restaurant you can order whatever you want and eat as much as you want. It just costs money, more money.
Not
here
really.
it's
at
a-
a buffet, you go in, buffet food is already made, just sitting out in a heating table. With this Sushi King, you sit down, order what you want, they make it to the order. And then it comes
and it's
out to
all
you
you can eat,
fresh.
so you can keep ordering however much you want. But the thing is, they will charge you extra for anything that you don't finish.
Anything you waste is like expensive.
Well, that's just smart.
So they charge you extra for anything you waste and not eat, or if you take home food in a to-go box. So
they charge you even if you take it home?
yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah, they want you to eat it there, not waste food. Because sometimes, if you bring it home in a to-go box, you're just going to throw it out anyways.
I am the leftover guy
Mm-hmm.
with my roommates. They make something that they go, hey, I don't want that. It's gone.
Yep.
Gone. Leftovers
just
are my
open the
thing.
fridge. You just find a styrofoam box and just be like, look in it. Hey, is anybody gonna eat this? No, done. All right.
I have done that. I have done that so many times. Now, if you ask my mom when I was younger, I truly hated leftovers, but I love them now.
My all-time favorite leftover is leftover spaghetti.
Oh, that's anybody's. Come on,
Yeah.
or leftover chili. It's like it
Because
just gets better with age.
when you sit there and reheat it in the microwave with butter, it's just amazing.
Actually, I've never done it with butter.
It's
What?
so freaking good.
You just throw it in there and nuke it.
Yeah,
You
well,
gotta-
I put some water on top of it, so
No,
so
No,
it
you
keeps
do
them.
with
do
butter. Butter just makes the sauce stick to the noodles, and it gives it a nicer flavor when you eat it. Oh, it's so good.
Kind of like when I always put a little bit of butter in the water.
For like cooking like vegetables and stuff like that, because I do that with green beans or broccoli and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's normal.
Look, I am not a chef. I can barely cook grits, grilled cheese, and the cup ramen. Even I have messed up cup ramen before.
Have you ever cooked for a date or anything like that?
You think I have dates?
No, honestly.
No,
not joking.
well, I've cooked for a girlfriend when she was over once, but it was still grilled
yeah,
cheese
even-
and ramen.
even a
It was
girlfriend.
still grilled cheese and
See,
ramen.
when I was in my relationship and all of his college roommates, whenever I cooked food not just for him, but for everyone in the house. So I had to feed 8 guys.
Every girlfriend I've had
You
never
were
cooked
mom.
me a meal.
I kind of was.
Every girlfriend I had never cooked me a meal.
The one.
Okay, that's a lie. Actually, my recent girlfriend has cooked me one meal.
I remember just making chicken nuggets for everyone. I would
you
just,
can never go
fry
wrong with
up
chicken
some,
nuggets.
yeah, I know. I just fry them all up and I put them in panko breading because it makes better, crispier. And then I'm just like, here you go, chicken nuggets.
Now, how you make them? Were you doing it through the stove?
Yeah, I just put it on the oil.
So at least they
fry.
are getting crispy.
Yeah.
Because I trust me, I'm lazy. I did it through the microwave. I only did that once.
Yo, no.
A soggy nugget.
The only girlfriend I had who actually cooked for me was Nikki. She was a really good cook. She made me chicken marsala one time. That was
You don't even know what that is.
Dude, go to Olive Garden. You can get a chicken marsala there.
I'm so freaking
It's an
jealous.
Italian dish. It's really good.
You think I would know since
It's
like a lot of my family's
It's
Italian.
chicken with mushroom
Mushroom
kind of
sour cream
sauce. Mushroom.
That's
and
probably
creamy
why
sauce.
I avoided it, because when I was younger, I didn't like mushrooms. Don't get me wrong, I still don't like mushrooms, but I do like them in...
I like mushrooms a lot more
foods.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like them. They do give a good accent to flavors.
Their texture can be so mushy and rubbery, but I mean, if you
That's
cook
not what
them-
bothers me. It's the taste, kind of like the beginning taste, not the end taste.
Yeah,
I like the end taste.
I get
I
that.
just think it's kind of weird how with people dating nowadays, you think about an ideal date. If you're gonna have a date where you're actually inviting someone over to your own place, the ideal thing you would do is, actually make dinner and sit down at a table and,
sadly,
talk,
that's
eat
old
dinner.
fashioned now.
And maybe have like a glass of wine or whatever. Nowadays, it's like
Netflix and chill.
You want to Netflix and chill? Like, what happened to the, like, classic, courtships,
I don't know about you, but I still find it classy because I still do that for, like, people that I date. Like, if I'm, like, celebrating or I'm, like, doing something nice and we're having dinner at home, I'll just, like, take out, like, food, like, order sushi or some other food,
but
wine.
We're talking about the general public nowadays.
General public,
It is so accepted and so used that it's just a hook of society nowadays.
Like, even if you are going to do something, kind of, like, cheap or whatever, like
me.
Like, at the very least, like, hell, you don't even have to take them out to a nice restaurant. You don't gotta make them food. Like, if you're gonna take them out somewhere, like, you could even just do simple, go to Starbucks. Just sit down, have a cup of coffee. Just go, hell, McDonald's will probably work too. Get something on the dollar menu. You're taking them out.
So my favorite...
Still take a walk on the beach.
That's what I was getting to. So my favorite low budget date to do is this. Go somewhere like that, like a fast food restaurant or something like that, or even make a little picnic from cheap food at home. You can do that too. Like, I brought grapes and little snacks like that. But we also did go to Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
We went, picked it up. We went to a park, sat down, had a picnic at the park, walked around the park for a while, and then, like, because we did this later in the day, it was more of a dinner.
Yeah. And
it wasn't even really a dinner. I wasn't full at the end, but, I don't eat a lot around a first date because I can eat a lot. And I always get scared that I'm going to get judged for that. So...
Yeah.
So then I took her to we drove to the beach, and it was up here in our area, and then I drove back to our hometown, and because there's easier access to the beach there, in my opinion. So I went there and we went on the beach. It was nighttime, like the sun had just set, and it was nighttime. We went and sat out there and talked for 5 hours. Didn't feel like 5 hours, but it was 5 hours.
Yeah.
Had a great night. A lot of fun.
Yeah, the only time I've ever actually been able to, like, actually have a real date was actually with Nikki. It was, I took her to Olive Garden. We ate there, and then after Olive Garden, we went and played mini golf. And then I brought her back home. Like, it was an actual normal
I remember that story.
Date.
I wouldn't say I've done a lot of expensive dates. Then again, I've never really had a lot of money, so. But
You've just always been poor.
I've always been in that struggle.
I always just sit at home and just play with my cats and just watch Grey's Anatomy.
You're here a little close to home. My roommate has a cat that sleeps with me half the time, man.
The only difference is you're not watching Grey's Anatomy.
No, I do watch Grey's Anatomy. Just kidding. No, I don't. I can't watch dramas. I get bored.
I've never been a fan of Grey's Anatomy.
I never really got into it. My mom was into it for a little bit there.
Yeah, same with our mom.
But, one thing I've always wanted to do, I don't always think that a date has to be expensive. I think the thought behind it and what you put into it. Yeah, now, I've been on I've been on really nice dates, at least in my idea of nice dates, like going to a movie, going to dinner afterwards, and then going for a walk later, or even doing like putt-putt or bowling afterward, just doing something. I had where, like, my main pet peeve is if you don't have to like it. Mm-hmm. If you want to end it early, go ahead and say that. We can say, I just want to go home. That's fine. But don't waste my time by going and just not having any conversation with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said one time we were gonna go, like, we had the movie, which you don't talk during a movie. Then we went to dinner and we were talking through dinner, but it just didn't click. I was like, and she was just kind of being standoffish. It was like, she's like, we're gonna do putt-putt. I'm like, nah, I think I'm ready to go home. So I took her home.
Yeah, like once you hit a point to where there's like you're facing a brick wall, like you're carrying the conversation the whole time, and they're just providing no input at all. It's like, yeah, all right, let's call it a night, and not call you probably.
The amount of money you spend on a date has nothing to do with like how good of a chemistry you have with the person. Like I went on a date with a guy that was in Orlando who drove a freaking red convertible, like, expensive-ass car, lived in an expensive-ass home, went out to Dave & Buster's and had food, but he was, like, the most boring person ever, had nothing to talk about.
Well, generally, the more people that, when it comes down to that, the more money you have, the less you really have to try in this world, tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So...
No, it's more about your looks rather than
that
your
too.
things.
That's what I have come to find is like a lot of people, they're very shallow. They look at the exterior more than the interior for people, and it's a sad truth. It's like the way I always approach things. You know, whenever I meet new people, even if they're just going to be a friend or something like that, it's like I'm looking at who they are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking at like, you know, oh, this dude looks cool, I'm gonna hang out with him, or she's hot, I'm gonna go out with her. No, it's I'm talking to them, engaging. It helps.
Sorry, I just had to say it.
Not if it's like a friend who's a dude and just be like, no, he looks a lot better than me, makes me look like crap, I'm not hanging out with him.
Oh, I'd never do that. Unless you would never hang out with me, Austin.
But
love you.
No, that's why I hang out with you. You make me look better. No, I'm just
by approximation, I guess.
But that's my whole point. Is like when you go into like relationships and dating and things like that, like don't focus on the outside or like what they're going through as far as like, you know, putting in an effort in their day. Go by, you know, just talk to them, get to know them and who they are as a person, and things will just kind of fall into place wherever they may go from there. It's like, don't be shallow. It's like, I never understand why people always focus on those.
Then again, you gotta think about it, to each their own.
Yeah.
So, don't get me wrong, I've been that shallow person before. You know, no one's perfect. But I've also been run into that a lot. And, you know, I've changed the way I look at it from when I first started.
Yeah.
And, because, you know, it's just, you change as you go. So, Speaking
of changing as you go, do you guys remember any, like, what it was, like, you guys wanted to do when you were kids?
Oh, yeah, I had, like, a ton of stuff growing up.
What is it you wanted to do?
I think I first started off wanting to be, like, a doctor, and then I realized,
unoriginal.
I know. Well,
so original.
Because I would always be the one, like, fixing, like, you know, scraped knees or whatever. So.
Oh yeah, Mom would always call you Dr. Alyssa.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I fixed my scraped knees.
Rub some dirt in it.
Rub some dirt on it, put a leaf on it. If it stuck, you need to put more dirt in it. If it didn't stick, you're fine.
Ooh. But nah, like, I wanted to be a doctor, then I realized I loved animals, like,
and then you wanted to be
animal.
A vet?
I wanted to be a vet, and then,
look at that.
And then I realized...
It's your sister, you should know!
I know.
I knew my brother's dreams.
Yeah. Yeah, like...
At least I think I did.
You wanted to go into criminology growing up. That's why you took so many high school classes of going into crime courses and stuff like that. Psychology also. So you were, like, really
I've always been
minds.
interested in many different things. Originally, I was interested in, you know, being law enforcement, criminal justice.
And then you went into TV production.
And then it's gone from there. Actually, though, it really... I've had quite a few other, like, ideas of stuff I wanted to do. The only two that I've ever been interested in was criminal justice and entertainment. And entertainment is the one that I am more inclined to, and it's, I don't know, to me it's just something I love. I actually love entertaining people. It's fun for me, and it, like, hopefully also fun for a lot of other people, like whoever I end up entertaining.
Well, that's always the goal. It's called entertainment.
Like ever since I was younger, you know this, I've always been, like, you know, mimicking movies and everything like that. Been doing impressions for Lord knows how long.
Freaking mimic Austin Powers, like, all the time.
Yeah, baby!
God.
$1 trillion.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't actually impersonate Austin Powers as much. It would probably be more like Dr. Evil.
Or Fat Bastard.
I'm not doing that one. I'm done with that impression. I'm locking that up and throwing away the key for that.
Okay.
I think the one I'm going to do a lot more often is, Peter Griffin. Everything just flowing out of here with no gateway.
Yeah, I always wish I was good at impressions. I can't do that. I can take things to the weird real quick, like weird ideas.
You can barely even do accents.
I can only do one accent, and that's Russian.
Yeah.
And even then, it's kind of iffy.
I can't do impressions. I could just sing in different accents. That's
I definitely can't.
How do you sing in different accents?
You listen to the movies in different accents, like I could sing Frozen in Spanish, or I could sing the Scottish songs for Brave.
In actual Spanish language, not spinach.
Yes.
Spanish.
Yes, because Libre Soy is what Frozen Let It Go is called. Is Libre Soy. And
now you just make me think of soy sauce.
I know. But taking 3 years of Spanish, also you learn all about different cultures, not just like whatever language you're learning, but just taking an interest in culture, geography, and stuff like that. I've always had a passion for like other cultures and other languages. That's why I like learned like every country on the globe and learned 3 years of Spanish and stuff like that. I'm also trying to learn Korean because
Why?
Cassia's
Why not?
Cassia's older brother is married to South Korean woman, and they have a child that is Duolingo English and Korean. So
I would just like to learn how to speak German.
I don't care about other languages, tell you the truth.
I can kind of do a little bits of the German accent. It's not that great. It's
like
it's shite.
You think I would learn Spanish because I'm part Colombian, but I couldn't be bothered to even try. Like, no, I did. I tried for like the first 2 weeks of school, and then failed it on purpose.
My best friend's fiance, she's half Puerto Rican, half Italian, and her whole mom's side is the Puerto Rican. So like all of her older siblings, like much older siblings, like 10 plus years older than her, are speaking Spanish, and she did not learn a single thing of it. So they'll just be at Thanksgiving, and it's like conversation starts in English and then goes to Spanish. She's just like, okay, I've lost it.
I don't know where this conversation's going anymore. It's like as soon as anybody speaks a lick of Spanish, it's like, all right, what?
Like the guy when we worked at the airport, and were you there for when Antonio was there?
No, I wasn't there for that.
Okay, so there was this guy named Antonio, and he spoke heavy Spanish, and his English wasn't too well, and he struggled with it. But you could between both of us, I knew a little bit enough of Spanish to understand what he was saying and the gist of it, and he knew enough for what I was saying. And we got pretty close throughout it. And we were teaching each other the language throughout the day as we would work together. So I started learning some more Spanish, which it didn't stick because we only started teaching each other like a week before he had to quit due to injury. So, but I just remember going back and forth with him, and he would be mean. The dude would be mean. He would sit there and call me every name under the freaking sun in Spanish. And then once I figured it out, I started going off on him in English. It's like, what's wrong with you? It's like, but it wasn't always like it was all out of good fun. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, what? like I'll be sitting there because for playing sometimes I was doing pillows and blankets, so I'm sitting there putting the pillowcases on the pillows, and he just comes out and starts freaking rattling off some words at me. I'm like, what? And all the other Spanish people who speak Spanish are laughing. I'm like, what?
Dude, it was always like the Spanish teachers in high school, like if they actually got mad sometimes they would actually just start throwing out like things in Spanish just to like...
You remember Miss Galliana?
I don't know the name. I don't think I've ever had her as a teacher.
She knew my aunt. She knew one of my aunts.
Oh.
She was okay nice to me because of that. But I was not the nicest person to her.
Oh, God.
Okay, I can't say I wasn't like super rude or anything. I just did not try. And when I could have, and she knew I could learn this stuff. And the guy who sat next to me, we were right in front of her desk. So like, here's my desk, here's her desk. Not even they're touching. They're touching. And how she would work on her desk would be facing towards us. So I'm doing my work facing towards her, and she's doing her work facing towards us. So the whole time we're doing our work, I'm sitting here joking with Cody. I think his name was Shane. Sitting here joking with him, and she just looks up at us and goes, "You need to stop." I'm like, "But but like, come on, get off my back, Jack. Come on.
I think I got along with all of my teachers in all throughout elementary, middle, and high school. The only teacher I did not like and had to switch classes was Miss Seagrave's class.
Really?
It was almost like everybody there.
Yeah, because she was
Nobody liked her.
She was in my senior year of high school when I was going through the huge depression, and she was sarcastic and mean old lady, and she would like comment about like our genes or like how like, oh yeah, people have blue eyes and brown eyes, and then she'd like comment of like, oh, you have brown eyes, you're inferior or something like that. I'm just
actually,
like,
no,
what?
brown eyes are dominant.
Yeah.
So she was Hitler.
Yeah,
okay.
Brown eyes are a dominant gene.
That's what you're saying.
She
was
inferior.
Hitler. Oh, you don't have blue eyes or blonde hair? Well, I guess you're just inferior.
I don't know. But yeah, she was bitter, and I had to switch out of her class fast. And then I got Scrivano, and I was so happy.
Oh, Mr.
Mr.
Scrivano. Oh my gosh. I think I'm still friends with him on Facebook. I used
Probably.
to, every morning, I used to I would get sweet tea, because when I was working, I used to work at a local restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Muscleman on my Facebook.
Muscleman. But I'd go and get a sweet tea for both of us, and I would go and sit down with him anytime that I was not like in class. It was like free time. Like I spend my lunch in there, my morning in there. And even when I'd stay after school to do some work, I'd do it in there.
Yeah.
And me and Mr. Scrivano were very freaking close.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Scrivano.
Not in a weird way.
Mr. Scrivano would, like, I had him for my 8th grade year for both language arts and creative writing.
8th grade?
Yeah, he was in 8th grade, and then during my 8th grade, because I also met him in 8th grade, during like the first half
He didn't
of my
come
8th
to
grade
the
year,
high
he
school
moved to the high
until
school.
like the year.
We were in the
after.
same
He
grade,
basically
right?
followed.
I was a year behind him.
It
so I
was-
graduated 2015. He graduated 2014.
It was kind of like the
year
same
between us.
with it was kind of the same thing. Mr. Scrivano followed our class to the high school. Same with Mr. Tager.
Oh,
So
yeah,
he
Mr.
was
Tager,
the principal
yeah.
at the middle school.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
followed us to the high school.
Mr. Tager left when you all left 8th
He left
grade.
my senior
Scrivano
year.
stayed there for another semester during my 8th grade year, and then he moved to the high school.
That's why I never got... Because I met Mr. Scrivano my sophomore year. Junior year, I had Mr. Galliano. Not Galliano, Mr. St. Gelay.
St. Gelay, I
St.
had
Gelay.
him before he got arrested.
So did I.
Yes.
The few weeks before he got arrested, I was spending a week after school in his class catching up on work.
I knew he was sleeping with a couple of the students in my class. Yeah.
Huh?
What? No, I didn't say anything.
I knew one girl he was sleeping with.
I think I knew one too. I think I knew her name.
Yeah.
All right, let's get off that topic. What was I saying? Oh yeah,
But
Mr.
anyway, yeah.
Scrivano gave me Florida Gators merch my 8th grade year.
I remember that he used to have in high school he used to have his desk, and then he had like the box of all the seats around.
Yeah.
I used to sit pretty much right next to him or a few seats down because our whole class was it was the engineering class, so it was
Yeah.
very small. So he used to have this orange on there. It was orange, it was flat, and it had a brown stem, a little brown stem with a little green leaf on it.
Yeah.
I asked him every time, when I graduate, can I have that?
Did you get it?
No, because I didn't spend my senior year in New Smyrna.
Oh.
But I went and visited him after. After I graduated, I went
yeah.
and visited Scrivano. I went and visited, what was the woodshop guy's name? I forgot.
I don't know.
He got me a job with a construction company, so I should remember it. I went and visited Mr.
Yeah.
Humphreys, my engineering.
Jerk. Don't remember the guy who got you your first job?
It was not my first job, it was my second job.
Well,
Okay.
either way,
On
your
the books.
first good
On the
job.
It wasn't good. I almost died so many times working for Hickson.
I actually went back to the high school like last year, like in 2018, 2017.
Road trip.
No, but I need to get
They should still
letters
be
of
open now.
recommendation into the college. And I actually went and I saw Scrivano again. I saw Tyson, and I also saw...
I didn't like Miss Tyson too much.
I loved her because she was LGBT.
I didn't mind that about her, but if you did not agree with her political views at all, she hated you.
I mean, yes, I could see that.
And I made one comment where I did not agree with her. I didn't pick a side. I just didn't agree with her. And then she never talked to me again. I'm being serious.
Yeah, I could see that. But I also know that one of the biggest Republicans that I was best friends with, Brad, huge Republican, and he would make comments about it all the time. But he was like supportive of like LGBT community and stuff like that. But he was also like very like, oh, I believe in like
I can make so many jokes
Putin.
right now.
He was like,
Yeah.
I agree with Putin or something like that. And Tyson just looks at him. She's like, boy, get the hell out of my class.
Yeah, she was very good. But another reason why I didn't like Miss Tyson, don't get me wrong, very nice lady. I didn't like her teaching ways per se.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't agree with her, I felt like you got graded harsher.
A little bit, yeah.
And if she did like you, it was easy as hell.
Actually, no. She loved me, and it was still pretty difficult.
She did have a hard class. A hard class.
She made you do current event stuff every week,
Yeah.
and just like
I never did.
no, I
That
never
class
did
was
either.
easy for me.
Yeah.
She just didn't like me from the start, like at first, because I actually said the one thing you should not have said ever to her.
Oh my god.
Yes, I said Walmart.
You know you should have said Kmart.
God.
Christ, dude, I can't believe you said that.
Hey, it wasn't my fault. Like, she's sitting there, she's like, don't buy supplies from this one establishment. No, I know everybody uses it, but I don't like it. And I was sitting there, like, confused, and I just go, Walmart? And she just glares at me like...
I don't think she actually really started not liking you because of that, because I've said Walmart to her before, joking around.
Yeah.
She just didn't like me at first, but like as the year went on,
she was a very nice
I was
lady.
actually
I quite enjoyed. She was funny too.
Yeah, I was one of the best people who did the mock trial for her class. I was one of the lawyers, and I actually did one of the best stuff.
I actually used to do that in my private school I went to.
Yeah. Like, not only was I part of the GSA, but that she hosted, but I also did the, I also did the city council, like the kid council, sort of like go to city hall, do a speech of like what your community needs improvement on. And we submitted plans of what sidewalks need to be constructed in town, so it was nice. It was actually a lot of fun. But yeah, nerd.
Yeah, in high school, I never really did anything. My mom wouldn't let me play sports in middle school or high school. She would never sign off on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't get me started on the sports.
So to go against that, I started playing paintball in sophomore year. In junior year.
I tried to go for the football team, but Coach Jenkins was such a jerk.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me this story.
Wasn't he the one that was fired?
No,
that was what was the guy's name?
That was Barnes.
Yeah.
The one who was stealing everything out of the locker rooms.
My friend
Didn't he
in
come
freshman
back?
year. No, he didn't come back because in freshman year, my friend's like, "Hey, I
He
had
stole
$100
$20 from me.
My friend had $100 in his wallet stolen from his locker on 2 occasions. And it
What
was
high
Coach
schooler
Barnes.
has $100 in his wallet at school?
I had $20
A
because
rich friend of mine.
I had $20 because my mom gave it to me to get me food for that day after school and the next day after school.
Yeah, it was
No,
literally
$20
their
makes
weekly
sense.
allowance.
$100 on the other hand, that sounds
It was
fishy.
it was his weekly allowance, like
Weekly allowance.
Yeah, that's
We
how rich
get
he
those.
was. That's how rich he was.
We didn't.
Hey mom, where's my allowance? You owe me a lot.
Yeah, but no, that's what he'd get each week. It was ridiculously stupid. But
The
yeah,
pleasures of having money.
I know, right? But no, like, it was just the whole setup that they did where they just, like, put the residue on whatever kid's items, and then the fingerprints led to his desk. And, yeah, he went to jail.
Yeah.
Yep.
He wish he should have.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Barnes actually stopped me from getting into a fight before because he knew my mom.
Wow.
Mr. Barnes grew up with my mom, and this one kid was picking on. We were friends at first, and he started picking on me. He said something about my dad. Mr. Barnes was right at the door, so you know he'd come back from the track, and you'd walk around on the side of the building, and you had the breezeway between the gym and the locker rooms.
Yeah.
So we're going through that door. I'm about 5 feet away from Mr. Barnes. Dude says something about my dad. I turn around and start to call back and start walking towards him. Mr. Barnes grabs me by the shirt, pretty much drags me and throws me inside, and he says, "Go to my office." I'm like, oh, fuck, come on. Like, no. I'm thinking, I'm going to get written up so much, I'm going to be in trouble.
You're going to be in trouble with me if you almost let that slip again.
I
Swear jar, now!
We should get a swear jar.
Yeah.
I've only let the small ones out. I haven't dropped the F-bomb. But...
Give it time.
But no, so he brings me in there, he's
Fudge.
like, so he pulls me to the side, he's like, "You need to control your anger better like that. I don't care what he says." I'm like, dude, you know about my dad. He was saying crap about my dad. Like, that's kind of low.
Yeah.
He's like, "All right, just don't talk to him anymore." And then, actually, I was supposed to meet that kid outside of school and fight him, but he never showed up. I remember this. You remember this kid? I remember this kid named James when we were in school. I forgot to remember his last name.
There were many James.
He was a unit. He was a unit, though. And by a unit, it was some fat, some muscle. Yeah, blue eyes.
So he was just bulky.
Yeah, he was a unit.
Who was the James that we grew up with and you would sit on the bus with him a lot? Brown hair, kind of buck teeth kid.
Oh, I don't remember his freaking name.
I don't remember, but he was a big ass bully. I mean, like, you and him both combined on the bus were just awful.
He actually would talk crap about me more often than anybody else.
I'm still scarred about what he said about me, but I'm not gonna bring that up.
You probably should not.
No.
Yeah, I don't even remember because that was elementary school.
We could talk about that after.
Yeah.
That was
now
elementary
I'm curious.
school.
Yeah.
That was him being, a stupid, dumb kid, and he was scrawny, so either one of us could have beaten him up. So
I remember
Yeah,
actually
you
being
didn't.
in middle school.
I don't remember anything that kid ever said. That was elementary school.
I remember being in middle school and being on the bus, and the bus driver that we had hated kids. So we all had assigned
I think every
seats.
bus driver
Every
hates
bus
kids.
driver
No,
hates
because
kids.
I've had some bus drivers who were really cool, but he was super strict. We were not allowed to talk. We could not yell. We had to be talked to who was in our seat with us, and that's it. You're not allowed to turn around at all.
I can't remember this one lady.
But he was a really old dude. But the guy who I always sit next to, I can't remember his name. I think his name was Colin. Real sweet guy, real nice. He was different.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always friends with him. He got off at the bus stop before me.
Mm-hmm.
I think either before me or after me. Either way. And so we just became friends through that. I didn't hang out with him outside of school or at school, but on the bus we were friends. This kid that would get off at the bus stop before my bus stop was picking on him one day. He used to pick on us a lot. And one day I was just tired of it. I think it was one of the days I was sick. I said, look, either shut the up or do something about it. And so he goes, whoa, man, calm down. We'll fight off when we get off at my bus stop. I'm like, no, I'm not getting off your bus stop. You have two friends right there that get off the same bus stop as you. I'm not dumb. Get off at mine.
That's debatable.
Well, I'm dumb, not an idiot.
Yeah.
Not an idiot.
Yeah.
So he starts talking crap this whole time. Like, dude, just get off my bus stop. I'm done talking to you. Just if you get off my bus stop, it's on, and just stop talking to him. And then he gets off his bus stop. He's like, get off at my bus stop. I'm like, either stay on here or be a pansy and get off. And he got off. I was like, okay. And then the next day, he never talked crap to me again. Then in high school, freaking freshman year of high school, he tried to be friends with me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That
He
happened
tried to be
to
friends with
me.
me.
That happened
Hey,
to
I'm
me.
sorry about.
I think his
how
name
I
was Brandon.
back then.
His name was Brandon. He was a fat kid too.
So literally in like 6th
Don't get me
grade.
wrong, I was chubby in school too.
Yeah. In 6th grade, like, I would sit in art class and there were these two B's that would just, like, make fun of me for, like, not talking. It's like, why are you silent? You're so weird. Literally picked on me and my best friend in middle school. And then high school comes around and I'm just, like, ignoring her, doing my work. And she's like, why don't you talk to me? What did I ever do to you? I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, there's this thing called you talk to people who you like.
Yes.
See, if I like you, I'll sit there and rib on you, make fun of you, talk to you. If I don't like you, you won't hear a word out of me unless I have to talk to you.
Yeah.
Well, you can't determine if you like somebody without talking to them.
Oh, yeah, of course. I always have people ask me, well, no, like... No, I based people off of, like, in school, from being around them and how they act in class. I'm like, not talking to that dude.
Oh yeah, there's some people you can tell like right away just
That
by
there's going to be a mountain of
observing
nothing.
them, like that they're probably not going to be somebody you want to spend a lot of time with. It's
Yeah, that's
Well, also-
how I look at you.
oh, there it is. What is
She
that?
got you with one of them burns.
Burn! Sorry.
Go to every one of us, burn!
Yeah, that was a good one. Good one. Yes. Anyways, I think that's where we're gonna wrap it up for today.
Yeah, I'm done talking to these fools.
Yeah, it's
I've seen enough of them.
just getting really tired of it. No, but yeah, it's been a good trial
Hour and 30
run.
some odd minutes.
Huh?
Hour and 30 some odd minutes.
It's just gone on for quite a while. But yeah, it's a pretty good run on this. This is our trial run for the podcast.
Hope you enjoy it.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah,
This is fun for me.
We had fun.
I had fun. I had fun just sitting here talking.
I had a blast.
Oh gosh,
it was so riveting. Oh my god, I just had a blast.
Gosh, oh my,
Becky,
no way.
look at that podcast.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
We'll see you all the next time we do this.
Goodbye.